sure. Okay, looks like we're live. Okay, all right. If hold on, gotta get better at this streaming thing. I'm doing it mostly to record myself. I had people ask me to do it, and I truly believe the best way to learn is by watching. Not best way. One of the important things about programming is to read other people's code, and to understand. Beginning programmers, I don't think, understand that there's a coding process that you have, sort of everyone has their own process, but the process isn't I know everything and so I'm just gonna code right off the bat. That's the thing that hard, I think, for new programmers to grasp. Like, how do you know everything? A lot of it's just looking at documentation. And so also I like talking to myself, apparently. I am a teacher, so these are often the most requested type things students want to do. Or I see something like, oh, this would be a fun project, like this blog thing. I think this would be a fun school project to do this blog. I'll probably end up well, if I get a blog working, then I can write a blog post about how I made the blog. I think I'm ready. I got it. Okay. So, where did we leave off? We have a blog. Let's start the live share here. Open up page 2. Sorry, I'm touch my face. Complain about it. All right, so I have this here. I guess I should put all of these things inside of different. It doesn't make sense to have them out here. Okay. So what's going on with this? What are we doing? I have a blog site, a template. It's ugly. It's bad. It's the world's worst blog. You can essentially, what it's doing is it's loading Markdown off of GitHub, and then it's using a library to take that Markdown and render it as HTML, highlight the code blocks, and also now I've added a comment section. That's the main thing I wanted, is a comment section. And so I have it now loading comments from the database, but you cannot leave comments yet. So we gotta make so you can leave a comment. The order that they show up isn't gonna be in order yet, but you also can log in and out. You're gonna have to be authentic. So if I log out, this should disappear if you're not logged in. So that's my main effort today, is to get the comments working. Let's make it so if you're not logged in, then you should be logged out. So I'm gonna add, like, can you query off of attributes? That would be fascinating. You can do it off of classes. I would like to add an attribute. I'm just realizing it'd be great to have an attribute on here that says visible if logged in, something like that. That'd be fascinating. But class equals so let's look at the code. Let's look at the code. What am I doing here? See how I often, like, my thought, especially, so here's the thing, when I'm programming in front of someone, if someone else is going to be watching me, I think I'm a slightly better programmer in the sense that I do a lot less hacks. Although I've said on this I'm gonna do hacks and hacks to figure out what I'm doing, and then my plan is to go back and write it nice, clean it up. So this is a prototype. We're figuring out what we want our program to look like. Oops, sorry about that. Wanted to get some of my screens a different other mod. Have some people chat here. Okay, I needed to make sure I could see the chat in case people wanted to talk to me. That some people had joined the session, so I'm just trying to keep myself. Okay, sorry. All right, here we go. What are we doing? So here's my code. Kind of horrific right now, so I apologize. We're gonna do some stuff, but we have it loading the articles. Get rid of that to do. We have this to do that we want to sort the comments by date. We're gonna do that later. Before we can do that, yes. On here's on deauth, we make certain things visible and certain things not visible. And I kind of wanted to make it so I didn't have to search for a bunch of different things. But I actually think I'm just gonna add a class here. Class to things that should be visible if logged in. Something like that. I was thinking maybe I can make an attribute visible if logged in. But this will be better, I think, because I can make a class. Make a class visible if logged in. Yeah. You make a class in here in my CSS visible if logged in that says display none. So by default it's going to be display none. And then we'll do a little search when we're logged in to swap it out. And then we need a, so this is where I'm like, well, I have this login thing here. Of another one that says class visible, let's see, visible if logged out. There's certain things that you'll only see if you're logged in, certain things you'll only see if you're logged out. And maybe I should put if not logged in. If not logged in. So by default, if you're not logged in, the opposite. Visible if not logged in. I don't know if I need anything like that. The main thing is that when you switch, right? So there's no display none on that one. So I don't have it at all. The idea is going to be that it swaps those things. All right. So rather than getting element by log, by ID log out log in, we're gonna get. See, I want to write a little piece of code that's gonna like swap it out. Let's write a function. Function toggle logged in elements is logged in. So you're passing a boolean true or false saying whether or not you're logged in, and then we will do something kind of like this, and we have to get all of our elements. Yeah. So we'll start out with say const and query select const logged in blocks. We're gonna query select on our class like that. And then we're going to loop through all of those things, and we are going to set the style. It's interesting. I don't know if I can do that. Can I dynamically change? Ooh, I wonder, can I dynamically JavaScript dynamically change class, not name. want, so I don't think I can do this. That'd be fancy. I can add and remove class, right? So I want visible if logged in. If this thing is true, I want to set all these, the display on these to be, so right now if I have display none, so I kind of gotta like remove this class and somehow mark that it's logged, like displaying. Okay. Not logged in blocks. Not logged in. So let's see. Or let block of logged in blocks. That's gonna loop through all the logged in blocks. I need to remove this class. And add a CSS based on ID using the class API. And remove. So block dot class. Look at what class list API. Let's see if we have a remove. This toggle. If visible is set, move it. Otherwise, that mean that class list would be a I have an idea. Block list dot class list dot toggle. If force is given, toggles token remove it if it's present and adding it if present. So turns it on and off. But I want it to add it. If block in, but I'll turn it on and off. This is interesting. This should kind of work, but now I'm not using the Boolean here. I want that to be true or false. I want to be able to set it true or false. So I don't think toggle is quite what we want. I want remove. I can remove. Replace. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. All right, so we go through all of these, and we're gonna replace this with visible if logged in true. We're gonna set it. We'll be like, okay, we just set it true. So we have, if this is true, we want to do that. So we're gonna if is logged in. I'm gonna do something in a minute here that I think will be clever. I just want to get this working. I need like a swap value actually. So I'm gonna do let swap logged in equals. Well, let me figure out the basic part here first. I'll clean it up in a second. Format. If we're saying that we do want to log in, we need to swap all of those out. If not logged in needs to become we actually want to like make these things hidden. So we're gonna swap that with this true one. And then we could probably just swap. Interesting. Interesting. I just had a thought. Visible if not logged. We're gonna swap these two things. Okay, so the order is based on whether or not we're logged in or not. I'm sorry, I keep clearing my throat. I've got something in it. Give me a second here. My apologies. I hope that's better. So we're gonna swap these out. For query selector, I'm curious if I can select two things in here. Really, I want to get both sets of these. Let's see, JavaScript query selector all multiple attributes. I want it to be an or though. I don't want it to be both. One of multiple. Well, let's go look at the API. I don't know why. I thought maybe I'd find a quick answer. Selectors. A string containing one or more selectors. A string must be valid CSS selector strings. If not, exceptions thrown. In list of matches, key divs, past highlight, or multiple. You can do that, but this is doing them as ands. I kind of want to do one or the other. Well, I know I want to do one or the other if it contains either. Do this. Outer, inner. In this example, when selecting outer in context with class elements, with the class inner is still found even though outer is not a descendant. Search is performed. I'm curious here. Let's do a check. Let's see what happens here. My index HTML, I have both of these things. Let's run a little test in our console. Document query selector all dot so that's gonna give me the one node. That's gonna give me the one node, and if I put bold, I don't get either. Okay, so it doesn't give me. Too bad. I want it to do or. JavaScript query selector. One or more. Condition. Oh, do I just? All right, so I might have just. There we go. There we go. I was pretty sure we could do it. So we're gonna select. These are your blocks. What we're gonna do interesting. Well, maybe we. I'm not sure. Because now it's gonna swap them no matter what. We gotta figure something out here. All right. Anyway, we're no longer keeping track of the original. That's the part that's like a little bit of a dilemma I'm having of how to do this in a right way. I could hack this together and get it, and it'll be some code that's just mediocre and work. But I'm trying to reduce my complexity here. All right, so I'm pretty sure this will work in the following way. If I do this, I say, okay, well, I'm gonna replace. Oh, and then now I actually, here's the interesting thing. If I first replace, now I'm going through all of them. Oh no, just, with not logged in. Yeah, the order is gonna replace them. So maybe I do need to do them separate like that. I thought maybe I could swap them. So I need to select all of them initially and then say, okay, I'm gonna swap them out. All right, I'm just gonna go with my original plan here. I'm not gonna swap between the two. Logged in, true. It's gonna replace it with this one that's true, which will have no effect on it, but it allows me to identify how to switch it back. This is why I said I need potentially have something with an attribute in there, so I can search for the attribute and then sort of do something smart in that way. But I feel like I'm doing something. I'm feeling dumb here. And then this class not logged in true should have the display done. All right, so if not logged in, true or false sort of tells us what to do. Visible if not logged in. And these are horrible names, I feel like, but they're reasonable. They're reasonable enough in my mind to tell me what they're doing. I just don't like it. All right, so let's try seeing if this will let us toggle in. Visible if not logged in. Okay. So the idea is I should be able to replace on auth here when we're logged in. We're gonna call toggle logged in. True. I'm gonna say we are logged in. Let's refresh this page and log in. We should get the comment box if we log in. We didn't. This is sad. Look at, oh. Well, it says I'm not. Well, that's because it didn't. I think I'm actually. I'm getting some outputs about being logged in. Hang on here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting my user data displayed here. I am logged in. I'm calling toggle logged in true. Visible if logged in. This thing should be swapping to if I understand true, which would make it show up that way. So that's just not happening. Although I think that this needs to be actually in our, now that I'm realizing it, there's another method, function, which handles on, it's down here, on auth state change. That's actually where I needed, on auth state changed, we call on auth, oh, never mind. This is where it's doing it. Calling toggled in elements. Oh, Visible if logged in. This doesn't do anything. Alright, let's do a console.log block. Let's see what blocks it is doing. Toggling logged in elements. I'm so rusty with web development, man. Then it's post comment. It's trying to do this one. So it's printing out this replace doesn't do what we think it does. Or doesn't do what I think it does. Let's take a look. Let's pull it out. Elements. Post comment. Document. Let e equals document id e dot class list place. Oh. Visible if logged in with. Visible if logged in true. Okay, so this code is no dot on this. There we go. It's not a selector query, it's just saying replace these things. Okay. So now I'm logged in. There we go. It replaces them. The little log out option is gone. Oh, because it was displaying that. So we changed that. Logged in. This question mark logged out. I'm a little interested as to why display name's not swapping out. I thought we had done that. But apparently I took it out here. Let's look at if. Logged. Original update. There we go. Update the username after we log in. So that should occur in our toggled element. Maybe. Awesome. I know that there is issue. I don't have access to user here. What's going on? But I have a global user data. Update display name. User date. There we go. Alright, so it updates the display name just like that. And this is a little gnarly, so check it out. The else here, you might write like this, and then we do a different for loop. So we'll fix this. We're gonna say the opposite. We're gonna say true comes to this, true to this. Now I think we should be able to log in. Here. Oh, didn't. Oh, because I don't call toggle. Got a toggle on deauth. We do toggle logged in element. It's gonna be false. else we're yeah. And then down here we say is logged in. So if we're logging in, we put this. Otherwise, we put the words not logged in. Okay. Not bad. So I want to have this be conditional on is logged. Is login. Get our little login. Still something going on. Because I'm doing. Yeah. That doesn't disappear. This is tricky in my toggle logged in element false. Log in. I don't know why it isn't working. I should log in. Now, of course, Firebase. Google's little Firebase thing. Log out. Toggling log out. This. Didn't this whole chunk visible if logged in true? Should have swapped out to visible if logged in. In it. Oh, because my query selector needs to change now. My query selector needs to change. All right. So this is why I was saying I like this for loop here. All right, so we're gonna figure out ahead of time what our queries should be. All right, so we have a const here, logged in selector is equal to is logged in. So if we're doing a true, our selector should be here. Otherwise, our selector should be true. That const not logged in selector equal is logged in. Same thing here. So we gotta, based on this argument, we're gonna pick one of these two things. And true at the end. And then the swap. So this is why I'm like, this is a little bit, this is kind of ugly. It's a little ugly. And then this is gonna be our logged in selector. This will be our not logged in selector. Then we want to do the opposite again down here. So I need to have something that has the other. So maybe, yeah, I don't know what is going to be more clear to read. So then we're going to say logged in swap, essentially the opposite. And then const not logged swap is the opposite here. This is gross. I hate this code. Really hate it. So we're gonna use our selector here, then we loop through all of them and then swap them. And so we say logged in selector gets swapped with logged in swap. Then this one becomes not logged in selector with not logged in swap. Now this will toggle between those, hopefully. All right, refresh just to make sure. It should auto load, but it seems to, sometimes it gets caught up and then I get confused. It did not work. Toggling logged in true. Well, and then I have my dots. Oh. So let's get rid of the dots. I'm gonna write a little helper method to do these because man, is this like really annoying. I think I'm totally hating this. So we gotta put a dot in front of it here. Like that. Alright, and I think it's gonna let it log it. Oh, thank goodness. This is gross. This function is gnarly. So I'm gonna write a little helper function. Function swap. Yeah. Swap. Swap class. Swap CSS. Alright, so the idea is I'm gonna take in two classes and like do all the code in here. So we're gonna take in class CLS 0, CLS 1, and it is going to just do this chunk, and our selector, there we're copying. Don't break any. We can always go back. Yeah. So we're searching for CLS 0. Then we replace CLS 0 with CLS 1. So I should be able to simplify this here with swap CSS class logged in selector, logged in swap, swap CSS class, not logged in selector, not logged in swap. Alright, so a little bit of abstraction there. See if it works. But it didn't. Okay. So same result, but a little bit simpler to read in my mind. I still dislike how much I'm doing here. So I think an if statement will be a little bit better if I say if is logged in. We're gonna say if we're logged in, we are going to do the following. Yeah, I think this will read just much nicer. Visible, true. Logged in. Yeah, see, this is why I'm doing this a little bit. Okay, so if we're logged in, we swap this way. Else, I actually think this makes this look a little bit nicer. So readability is super important. Someone should be able to come back like this code and say, and be like, oh, okay, we're swapping this way or that way. This like slows you down. I feel like, what's going on? Now all of the logic of if it's logged in is up here, and if you're not logged in is here. Assuming break anything. Okay. Log out. All right, so continuing forward, we have this little thing here. I could do something weird and clever, but readability, I think, supersedes cleverness outside of like optimizations. And optimizations, you shouldn't shouldn't try to optimize prematurely. So if there was something that was like super slow, it might make sense to write an optimization. But yeah, I could do something weird like swap. Here, I'm gonna show you the weird thing I could do. Yeah, const swap function. Yeah, we'll do const swap is equal to is logged in. So if we are logged in, we're going to use the normal swap CSS class. Otherwise, first class 0, class 1. We're actually, so if we're not logged in, so this is what a younger version of myself might have done, is do something where say like, oh, well, we're going to swap one way or the other. And then I don't need this if statement anymore. But now I got to do something special for the username. So this creates a function swap based on which logged in I am. And we're going to choose which order to pass the arguments. Now someone has to look at this and understand what is this thing doing to be able to know it. And I think this if statement here that I have is just a little bit more straightforward to read and understand. But that's just like my opinion, man. All right, let's keep on pressing forward here. So we have this pretty terrible blog. The next thing I want to do is make it so that we can actually leave a comment. I should be able to type something in here and it'll add a comment to the thing. So I want to do blah blah blah, leave a comment, it'll clear this out, it'll put a comment, and the world will be happy. Okay, so I sort of need to connect these buttons up to various things, but I'm gonna have to write a function first, which will actually let me submit my comment by pulling these out. So I'm gonna write a function. Let's get, oh, let me commit first. Let me save where I'm at, git, add everything here. Git commit -m. I'm gonna call this a work in progress. And the work in progress is add clean, make post comment /login box. Post comment box only shows up when logged. There we go. That's essentially what we did. Next, we got to make it so we can actually post a comment. So I'm gonna have to look up the documentation to do this, but the idea, this is getting long and gnarly too. I'm gonna want to break this out into different sections. Let's get rid of some of the comments here. No longer using that. Okay. All right, let's clean it up. Or that is cleaned up. Let's add a function here. Let's add a little comments just for future me to know. Load the comments for, given an article name. Load the comment section for the article. I'm a little curious, since it's a sub, we do load article, loads this doc. I'm a little curious whether or not this doc snapshot has it. Console.log, because it is a sort of sub path to it. Let's take a look here. Console.log. Let's get rid of all my logs real quick to clean up. So the data value fields. Yeah, I don't think we do get it. Could be wrong though. Keep going, man. It says looking horrific, but it's semi-functional. Getting all the functionality in, and then we're gonna go back and clean it up. So we're again prototyping, creating a blog, World's Worst blog. We're gonna prototype it, get the functionality working so we understand how all of the components work together. Then we're gonna go back, clean up our code, and I'm not promising I'm gonna make it pretty, but make it less awful. It's pretty horrific. Okay, so in this case, we want to post a comment. Yeah, so function post comment. All right, so the post comment function, gonna take in just like a body, and almost, you know. So if I wanted this to be more testable, I could make it take in a body like that, taking the things to construct and build this thing. But we're gonna just read the data right from our text box. So we're gonna get the content of that comment box. So we're gonna do the font. We're gonna say body const body equals document d dot value. Is that what it is on this? Might be text or something. So let's just console.log body. Let's see what happens. And we're gonna real quick, just for fun, we'll expose this so we can try calling it. Post comment. Oh, we're gonna have to expose this because in our HTML we're gonna, well, I guess on load we could go and find this button and add in a listener. That's probably what we should do. Post comment. And that's probably what we should do because post comment. Yes. Oh, that does not. Saying undefined. Bar. Hey, okay, so value is what we want. Okay, so rather than exposing this is interesting. I didn't think about doing this, and I'm feeling a little ashamed that I didn't. Is on load, we want to instead, we're gonna do the font. Go. Comment box. When we load up, we're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna find this button. Find the comment button. Add event listener. Click. And the event listener is gonna be called post comment. Right. Leave a comment. Test. Go. So clicking that button does it. I don't need to expose the post comment function. Instead, I'm gonna add this event. Click post comment. It's gonna know what to do. Interestingly enough, it doesn't actually quite know what to do because it needs to know what my post comment needs to have, like the name of the article it's gonna post a comment on. So I'm probably gonna have to build a class at some point. But again, I'm just testing things out. I'm just being a little bit lazy here. I'm prototyping. When I post a comment, I'm gonna need to know the name of the article. So in this case, it's gonna be refactoring a chess program because that's the only article I have. Then if I have more than one article, I need to know where I'm posting the article to. So I'm gonna actually make post comment, take in an article name or reference or something maybe later to be able to do that. It might make sense. Yeah. Anyway, I was thinking it might make sense to get the data there, but we gotta look at how to write data. So let's look at that Firestore documentation. And specifically, add and manage data. How to add data. Let's take a look. So there's a function we're gonna have to call called setDoc. Is there an update doc? We need to like write doc. We need to be able to create doc. Make this bigger. Do I get? There we go. Set a document, add a document. We want to add a document. So I think let's look at our database. I actually don't think we need to add a document. We need to update, putting something into an array. Let's go to blog site, Firestore database. This might be indicative. So I have a collection called comments. I have a doc. So you might be adding a document. The document's going to be based off the user ID. Yeah, because you can't comment as a different user. And then the comments itself is an array. Maybe I'm just add a document. All right, well, I need to be able to add it in here first. My structure feels not great. Feels not great. I want people to have, so if you're able to write into a thing based off your auth, you can like sneaky. So right now, if I'm forcing this document to have their username or their user ID, they cannot write to it without being that user ID, so they can't sync it. If I'm saving the user ID as like a field or something, technically they can like quote unquote cheat. They can inject something insecure. So each user has their comments. There's a comments field. Let's see. Update field. Okay. Update elements in an array. All right. Apparently I can do that. Just being. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not reading all the documentation. Shame on me. All right. We're gonna add a document. So they're like an add if does not exist. When you use set to create a document, specify an ID for the to create, for example. DB cities, new city. So it looks like, pull up our web API just so we can look at it real quick. Maybe we can put in set doc. There it is. Set doc. Writes to the document referred to in the document. If the reference does not yet exist, it will be created. Okay. So it writes to it and creates it if it does not exist. Writes to the document referred to by the specified document reference. The document does not exist. If you provide merge or merge fields, provided data can be merged into an existing document. Right, so the document itself, the path to the document, so should be this, essentially this thing. Copy that. Post comment. It's gonna look like this. It's gonna be the user ID / comment is the actual name of the field. At the end, or is it comments? Comments is the actual name of the field. And then inside we have body and stamp. Body, string, timestamp, TS. Okay. That's what we have on the internals. So let's see if we can get a comment added in there. Well, let's do a couple checks. First off, if body is undefined or body if not body. So JavaScript has like this overload thing that says if it's null. So we don't want to do comments if, let's write a function here. Function test comment is valid comment body. All right, so we're gonna return a true if it's valid. So return if it is not undefined, if it's not null, and if it's not the empty string, and body dot length. Is that how we do strings in JavaScript? Let's check. Foobar dot length. Right. I want to make sure that you can't just type like the letter A in there. What's the minimum? Let's say you have to have at least 5 characters. You can't just post anything that's less than 5 characters long. So if it is not a valid comment, for now, we'll just return what the to do. Display error message. And for now, console.error. We want to like show it on the screen probably. Console.error. Invalid comment was not valid. Let's test it real. Can't leave it. Body.link. Fascinating. Oh, body. It has to be thing. I had the wrong in there. Comment was not valid. Perfect. Past. Body.length length is not a function. Oh, I have to put parentheses at the body.length length greater than 5. Foobar. Alright, it's just length. It's not a function. There we go. Which is what the error was telling me. Body is not. Or leave a comment. Test move. So we have to have a comment that is at least 5. I should probably make it so you have to like type a couple words in there. I don't want any comments like yay or woohoo. I guess those would be okay, but I don't want just garbage comments. Eventually I want to add like some fancy is strong. Maybe some kind of rich text editor so people can comment with rich text. Or at least I want it to be plain text, but you can do markdown. That's really what I want. Markdown with limited things. I don't want people to post crazy links and stuff. I have to think about how I want to restrict it. For now, we're just doing plain text. But I do want people to be able to comment with code blocks and whatnot. Okay. All right, I'm rambling. Post comment if it's not valid here. Okay. Now we want to add data. Okay, so if we do have that, we need to make a timestamp. I'm curious. Keep jumping up. This is why I need to like organize my code a little bit better in different functions. It'd be nice to keep this all together. Anyway, I'm gonna encapsulate it, make it nice later. For now, I'm prototyping. I don't even know what my code should. I know what I want it to do in the end, but right now I'm prototyping. So if I have a valid body, then const data body and timestamp. There's a timestamp type inside of Firestore. A timestamp turns a timestamp. So I should, let's split this. I keep jumping around. Oh, wrong. Put this here. Scroll up to the top. I need to import timestamp. I'm not sure if I should be using set doc or add doc. What did I find here? Set doc. Right. It will be created. All right, so I think I can do set doc. I need to get a reference to the document. And this should be actually be like user data dot UID, I think, something like that. Comment, and then this is actually the new chunk of data to add. Timestamp. Let's see, timestamp dot. Let's see, how do we make a new time? Creates a new timestamp. Constructor. Seconds, nanoseconds. Do I have to? Timestamp.net. There it is. Timestamp. Not now. Okay. That should give me my data, and the idea is I need to append my array that's in there. So like there's actually gonna be a chunk of data already there, hopefully. And if it's not, this is where I'm like a little bit unsure. Update elements in an array. If your document contains an array field, you can use array union and array remove. Add and remove element. Array union adds elements, only elements not already present. So for example, update doc Washington ref array union. Okay, so I think I'm gonna need array union. Here. Oh, stop jumping so fast. I want array union. I need set doc array union. Array union. Doc. I think I already have doc. Update doc. The question is, if I try to update the doc and it's there, does it yell at me? So look at update doc. The update will fail if applied to a document that does not exist. So I need to make sure the document exists first. Or yeah, so I don't want to set. I want to be clever with how I'm doing it. Okay, so can I set doc? I don't think I can set doc with. It would be weird to be able to set doc with union. Let's look at this. I'm gonna try set doc with the. Have data update element regions, because it's taken in a document here. Let's try it with set doc and see what happens. Really curious. So we want to do something that looks like this. And post comment's gonna need to be an async function now, because we're gonna await for it to finish, so that if we don't do that, our whole page will lock up. Right. And the database, the document we're updating happens to be this one, all the way to here. And we're gonna turn that into this. And I need to make sure user UID is the right field. And then the document itself, is that right? Doc, database, collection, database parameters. Firestore path, additional password that can be applied will be applied first. So I think actually I don't need DC parts. This is the document. We'll find out very soon. And then we want to take no longer Washington. Comments F. We're gonna try set doc comments, and we're gonna add in our data. And then, assuming there's like a dot then and the success and a failure thing we can attach it. Look at set doc. Set doc. Data. Document reads that occur after the return promise. So let's see what happens. It does return a promise void. So we have like a dot then. All right, so dot then. Dot error. Console.log, write successful. Console.error, write failed. Shouldn't let me do that. I have to type in some longer comment. Write successful. Error is not a function. Maybe I just misunderstand promises. Look at my promise. Catch, that's what it is. I had the right idea. To be catch, error. It said it wrote it, so let's go look in my Firestore. Here it is. Some longer comment, November at 8 a.m. Okay, this is looking promising. Let's see what happens if I... Hey, look at that. It automatically put it there as well. Well, it didn't automatically, the page refreshed. Add another comment. Right, successful. So if I refresh, oh, it replaced it. Oh, bummer. Bummer. So, that's a bummer. Alright, so I need a way to say if this thing doesn't exist, do it, and then I need to do an update doc. Alright, let's see what happens if I do update doc here. If it does what I want. I could be completely wrong. Well, test a third comment. Alright, so update doc definitely works. And now we have another one. But if I, so here's the thing, let me delete, if I delete document. If I delete that document, my write think will fail. Test comment. Write failed. And the error is essentially that some document doesn't exist, because that's what the documentation was telling me. So I need to go in, I need to fix that. I need to figure out. So we're doing calls to the database. I wanna, let's see. Really want to update or write, or update or set, right? So add doc, add a new document with the given data, assigns it a document ID automatically. Because I really don't want to have to do like a get doc, because then there's going to be a delay. Like you have to get a doc, and then when that tells you that there isn't a doc, it's okay to do a set. I want a alright, well here, alright. Alright, gotta do a get doc. I'm not happy about this. We already have get doc import. Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's my comment trap. We're gonna say get doc comments ref. Gonna get the document. And what does it say? All documents are directly fetched from the server, even if the document was previously read or modified. Recent modification or corrected. Current document. When do we throw? They've already been applied. So my thought is like a as document. All right, let's try a thing. Then get doc. Get doc. Like, what does it give you back if the document doesn't exist? I think that might be the. All right, so dot then doc snapshot, I think is what it said. Snapshot. Dot snap. That. And let's check out a catch error. Possible. This. You wait. Console error and console.log doc snap. I've deleted it, so let's see what we get. Some comment. Get a document snapshot, even though nothing's there. Okay. Documents null. What does that mean? All right, let's go read some more documentation. Let's open up what a document, no, not document, about a document snapshot. Document snapshot contains read data. Okay, ID ref, data exists. Here we go. We say exists. Exists. Okay. So doc snap dot exists. So we'll get this error if like you're not logged in. I'm pretty sure. So we're gonna say if the doc exists, we're gonna do this update doc. Pull that in here. All right, so if the document exists, can't do it in the way. Fascinating. We'll update the doc. Else the document does not exist. This is where we gotta call set. Set. Comments is data. Okay. All right. Try this. Posting a set doc. Posting a Right, successful. If I refresh. All right, something went wrong. The data, let's see what data we, the comments. Fascinating. Spread syntax requires iterable function. What did I refresh here? Test comment. Comment. Refresh. Line 82. Doc.data.comment. Oh, it made it a map. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense because I want it to be an array. This should be an array of 1 with data. Document. So we're gonna have to do some error stuff since technically you're able to write into this if you're logged in. Some malicious users might try to break something, so we'll have to do a little test posting a comment, a little bit of error handling. So here's the thing, posting a comment. I think you can't. Oh, you can because the timestamp will be the same. So I think if they click leave comment a bunch in a row. All right, so that's all right, but it lets us add those in. Want to make it? I want to make it so you can't call post comment in quick succession. We also want to sort these a little bit better in sort of chronological order. So like the older comments are at the bottom, I think. And then, but we can post a comment and I'm pretty happy about that. All right, so older comments should appear at the bottom. So we have to sort it by that. After you click post, here, let's clear out some of these. After you click post, I want it to show up on the screen. Show up on the screen right after doing it. So in this like sort of success area, I want to do that. I want to, this code is just like a little too much for me. So I am gonna try and do something clever here that says const write doc is equal to doc snap exists. So if it exists, we're going to use update doc, and if it doesn't exist, we're going to use set doc. And then we'll use write doc here. And I actually think this will work, so we do the array union here. Okay. And then on a write successful, I want to add comment to screen. So we're going to have a function called add comment. Add comment. And this is going to take in a single comment to add, in which case it'll be data. Okay. And we'll just report this error if it occurs. And we have to add a function add comment. Function add comment. Comment data. And this should be relatively easy. It's going to be the inner part of our loop here. Yeah. So let me pull it. Let me move this up here. add this here. The idea is this is gonna become add comment, and we're gonna need a little bit more than that because we have these things. Comment section needs to be available, but I don't necessarily want to be calling it over and over. So this is just gonna be a helper function called comment section, comment template. Comment template, comment section, and this is no longer, it should just be comment. We want it to match what was in there before. Body, comment, timestamp. Make sure that still runs as far as displaying these go. Okay, so after, here's something interesting. I'm thinking about some optimizations I can do. If this was wrapped in a class, I'd just have a thing called like comment tool, like comment utility, and have an instance of it. It just has these things. I'm not going to worry too much about that just now. So now on success, add comment data, comment template, comment section. Is that the order? I think I would be better at let's add comment template, comment section. Okay, now we have this, and I put here is my comment, leave a comment, here's my comment. Okay, so the comment after it's written to the database will show up here because we forced it to, and then I want to sort of clear this comment box out. In fact, I think I want to hide the comment box after we've made this thing. And if you want to post another comment, you'll have to refresh, because that'll keep people from doing too much accidentally spamming it or something like that. So after they've clicked post comment, I want to disable that button. Button, comment button, button dot disable. This is it enabled? Disabled equals true. How we do it? Let's test. Button dot disable equals true. There we go. Button dot disabled equals true. Okay, we're gonna disable the button. If our post fails, we'll re-enable it so they can try and post it again. But if things are successful, I want to hide that whole comment thing. So post comment goes away. So after we've added the comment to the screen, document.get element by ID dot probably just remove it, but we'll do the following. Style dot display equals. Okay. Test posting a comment. There we go. All right. So once it's posted, shrinks out. All right, let's get this. Let's commit. Let's do a commit here. This function's getting gnarly. We'll have to chop this down a little bit. Format document. Space. Get status. Get add. Get commit. Dash m work in progress. Add post comment function. Already. And like I said, we'll have to go in and do some like error checking when we're through. Technically, I think technically someone could, from this page, be running Java, like connecting to the database and sending stuff to the database within, if they're logged in within their own section here. Nothing. I don't think there's anything preventing. But they can only comment in their own comments section, which we're gonna sort now. All right. So up here to do sort docs comments by date, we also need to figure out how to get the out. So that's something I've been a little bit. I could add a field here or something, but we're gonna look it up by this name, I think, and I'm not sure I like that too much. It'd be nice to get them all as part of this document. With a relational database, I could do a join that would join those together. Since I'm pulling these out, yeah, so they need to be able to write their they can write whatever they want in here, pretty sure. Even if my code says, oh, this is how I'm forcing you to write it, and allows. But maybe I just add a field here called username, and someone wants to hack it with a different name, they can. But I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe I give them the option to specify a user. Let's keep going here. Sort by date. So I need to comments.sort, and then my function. It's gonna take in 2 comments. Comment 0, comment 1. And it's going to be comment 0 dot timestamp dot seconds, I think, minus c1 dot timestamp dot seconds. I think this is going to get ascending order. It also might just say that, hey, this is and that seems to be exactly what I wanted. All right, so we're saying subtract these 2. It's going to put them in ascending order. Sort them such that they are ascending. So if C0 is less than C1, this will return a negative number. All right. I got my little, sorting was very, very easy. Let's try out these comments. Document. Yeah, so finding all the names would take a lot of calls. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. And then if a person's display name changes, then we have to update it. So I'm just not sure what the best approach is here. Aside from querying, can you do like some kind of join? Oh, I think you can add references. Let's add a document. This thing, you can do a reference to another path in the database. User info. I'm curious here. Okay. The idea I'm having is that when a user logs in, their information gets set, so like what their display name is, that sort of thing. So above article, we're gonna have a path user data. And then there'll be a document. This will be your user ID. And then we'll have something called display name here. Username. Alright, so in this case, it'd be like a captain coder. People probably want to be able to set their display name. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Have a display name, and then in your articles, well, let's add a comment. Refresh this, no comment. This is a test comment. Put that in there so I can find it, comment this, and we make it a reference. So in here, user info, is that right? But then person can set it. But based off this string, I want to here. Based off this string, I want to be able to add a document like this. Display name. Captain coder. When you the first time you log in, I'll say, what do you want your display name? Let's and the idea is with that username, I can get this. I'm just annoyed that I don't know how to join it. I want to join it together. I just don't think that's something that this type of database does. I could do something gross where I think if I have a reference, all right, I think the document reference is the way to go. I'm just a little bit like, well, someone could put in that a reference to a different thing, but I can do like some checks. I can do some checks to verify. I'm trying to do it without the functions. So functions, you need, one of my things, so I have students who I want to be able to make, so one of the things is I want this to kind of be a student project to build a blog site. Okay, or make a YouTube video or something. Functions require you to have a credit card. And I want to see if I can do this without functions. So in this case, I really want to just be able to use this ID to reference the user there. Ooh, can I just, all right, so once I know all the users who have posted here, can I then do a second query with all of those people? I'm already doing query snapshot dot get docs. This is getting me all of these docs. So my idea is, can I build up doc.data comment? So I'm not 100% sure what the best approach here. I don't want to be too hacky. Data comment. What else do I got on my query snap? So this should get docs. Let's go look at the document. Get docs. So I'm curious what a query snapshot looks like. Because do I have access to the path on this? If I have access to the path, I can sort of docs, an array of all documents. in the query snap. This tell me the path data. They have just data. I really want to know what the path to this thing is. Fascinating. Yeah, I'm not sure the best approach here is. So I actually don't even have a handle of the path. It doesn't look like I even have the path of this snapshot. Console.log query snapshot. Looks like I don't even have the path on it. Because it's the name of the article, comment, and then do get docs. Let's see. Probably that second one, but let's get rid of all console quick. Metadata query underscore that we might be able to. No, it's not even the full path. 90% sure console.log. Another. I only had one come out. Shouldn't there be? Oh, there is only one document, one user. Document path. Technically, I could do some hacky thing where I pull this out, but this is hidden data. I'm not supposed to. Hidden data, like the underscore, sort of means this is private. Don't try and access it. Let's see. Fire store get document path. Get path of already queried document. I'll get, you get a back a document sign which does not have path you are looking. Okay, so there's a reference property. Ref. Okay, gives me a document ref. Okay, I can get to it. So doc.ref.path. Take a look at that. There it is. See what? Just a string. Although parent gives me the collection reference. Is the name of the document. Yeah, that's the name of the doc. Okay. So I need to pull off that last thing, and that becomes like the user data. Path. Okay. Font UID is doc.path ref.path. That's it. On Slack. Of course, this thing crashed, and I want the last element. Console.log UID. Very last thing. Lit flash gonna give me an array back, right? Hey, is there a like -1 last? JavaScript last element array. But I have to get the yeah, I have to do it by the link. So this will be my path split, path, and then const UID is equal to path at path.length -1. Now I have my UID, and so it's gonna go through and build up all of those. Is there a set in JavaScript? I think there is. Okay. I want a set of IDs. So const UIDs set, and then what are my methods? Const s equals new set, s dot add foo, add bar, add foo bar, s dot add foo. Okay. And then we're gonna say that UIDs dot add UID. So we're gonna build up all our UIDs, and they should be unique. I shouldn't have to do a set like this, but I just want to make sure I don't end up running a query twice. So I need to go through and like get a mapping of all the UIDs. I really want to do a join here, but I guess I'm gonna manually do this. It does not feel like the way, like a nice way to do this. Here. Doesn't feel like a good one. Commander TVT, hello. Welcome. We are making the world's worst blog. As you can see, it's pretty horrible. But we're making progress. We're making progress. It can load in Markdown that's posted on GitHub. We can leave comments, we can load comments. I'm in the process now of getting the usernames to display properly, which is more annoying than I want it to be. And I should probably actually, it loads, yeah, so it loads. Look, woo, it loads. I can post comment, new comment. I can leave a comment, saves it. So the back end's kind of working. Yeah, so it's loading this from like a Markdown that's posted on GitHub. So my idea is I want to be able to blog things using Markdown, post it on GitHub, and then this site sort of will render it in that way with the ability for users to leave. And so the thing I'm working on now is I want this username to actually be the name of the display name of the user that has left the comment, and the easy way to do it would be in the database on the actual comment itself, store the username, but that's not going to work well because the user actually is they could change their display name. So if they've changed their display name, it needs to update their display name everywhere. So I'm doing it's kind of, it feels really hacky to me. So if I was using a relational database, I would do a join on like a table. It says, well, just join where the user ID matches and get the display name. We have the user ID. So this is a NoSQL database. I'm not super familiar with NoSQL databases, but I have this section here that, well, I can look them up by their user data here. So I want to construct a query that, given all of the UIDs, get all of the necessary UIDs to construct this thing. Yeah, so that's where I am, and I'm pretty sure I want to I'm looking through the documentation of Firebase, pulling out queries. So I actually want to do a query here. Simple queries. What I want to basically say, pull all the UIDs where, you know, it's one of these things. And I'm just not sure how to do that because I've never done it in with the Firestore database yet. So pull documents from the user data collection. Anyway, so here I am. Function. I'm adding a function now that's gonna let me get all my user information. Get user data. We're gonna take in a set of UIDs, and we're gonna use that to pull out all of the user information. That's the idea. So my collection happens to be called user data, I think. If I look in my database, you have a user database, user data, and then the query itself I need to come up with. Simple queries. Yeah, so I want it to be a query where it says it's like where state is one of a collection. So I'm curious in. So it looks like we can do an in here. So I'm curious. This would be really cool if it's really easy. So yeah. So I'm pretty new to Firebase. I've only been using it maybe a year. I've used it on one major project. I'm a teacher. One of my coworkers uses it with their students. So one of the things is Firebase, there's like a free tier that your students can use to build, like have a database, and user authentication and lots of really cool stuff that is, you know, free. Well, what does free mean? No cost. The free is, you know, you're still using their tool. All right, so get user data where. Oh, this is interesting. Turns every city document where the country field. So really, I want it to be based on the name. I need to filter on the name. Like name is. Yeah, if Firebase goes down, then you're done, right? No. So I mean, there's a little bit of robustness that you want to build in. So, you know, if I was building this without using Firebase, I want to be super robust. I mean, so in any case, like no matter what you use, it's like if it goes down, it goes down, right? Unless, so if you're using AWS and it goes down, well, what do you do? If you're using Google Cloud Compute, what do you do? If your containers or whatever are out there in the world. Well, let me ask you, what do you use for your database? Your backend stuff. What do you prefer? What's your preference? Alright, so I'm trying to do here is I want the name query based on the name of the document. So let's see, Firestore query based on document name. Queries, all right. Okay, this is what we need. Yeah. So I typically will use PostgreSQL as a data. So what I mean, I guess what I'm asking is like, where do you host it? Redis is great. Where? So the question comes down to where do you host your database? Because no matter what, if that goes down, then you're gone with it. I guess you could put your database somewhere else. So that's the difference. You're right. So I'm very dependent in this project on Firebase, as opposed to if I just had a database schema or something, I could put that anywhere that uses that type of database. You're absolutely right. collection. This looks like exactly what I want. Just got to figure out how to use it here. And what version of Firestore field path document name document ID. Yeah, and my production stuff for the companies and whatnot I've worked for, it's all container based. Everything's using Docker or Podman, but Docker files to specify the specifications, and then something like Terraform configurations where you can deploy it out onto any cloud service. So the big company I worked for, I had the application was essentially agnostic to, not quite agnostic. It was all built. We hosted it on AWS, but you could. It was set up with some controllers where you could specify, oh well, I want it to deploy on AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. Those are we'd actually deploy to any three of those, using the same without changing any of our code. So there's just interfaces that allowed that. All right, so here I am trying to query. My collection is user data. My query is on user data where. My where clause needs to have this field pen. Look at the documentation here. Field path. Here we go. Field path. So I'm hoping I can import that here. Raspberry Pis are awesome, by the way. For small little projects, I have a dozen, maybe not quite a dozen. I've had a dozen or so in the past, Raspberry Pis for various different little projects. But I think I have at least 7 or 8 floating around this house somewhere that I use for stuff. Let's see. Want to import field path. Then down here, I think I want where field path dot interesting. Field path dot document ID. This looks like it's not gonna work. Is in UIDs. So the idea is I want it to have something like this. All right, my guess is this is not going to work the first time. I'm gonna get some exceptions, but let's give it a shot. After I've built those up, try get user data UIDs just to see what my output is. Query is not defined. Okay, that one. That's an easy fit. It's gonna come in here and query to our imports. Let's spread this out. Query. Question mark does not provide an city's ref is not defined. Well, because user data. I guess this should be user data ref or naming consistencies. Where is not defined. All right. Let's. Vanilla JavaScript, man, tell ya, is a little bit annoying. Yeah, I've never been huge into React. I've done stuff in React. Vue, I've heard good. I've never used Vue. I've heard good things about it. I worked at a company for 4 years where our whole thing was an Angular front end. And so that made me fall in love is the wrong word, but really, really preferred TypeScript over JavaScript. If you're doing, so I'm doing vanilla JavaScript here just because I'm playing around with some stuff, trying to make it super lightweight or whatever you might want to say. This is raw JavaScript, and it's just reminding me how much I hate doing vanilla JavaScript, really. Document ideas. I am a big fan of what am I trying to say here? So yeah, TypeScript. So Commander in the chat says, yeah, TypeScript is good, but haven't really had experience so far. My response is essentially that I am really a big fan of strongly typed language. The stronger the type system, usually the better, because it saves you from yourself. Your brain, for the most part, it reduces the amount of complexity you have to like manage in your program. So TypeScript really helps with that. A lot of people hate typing systems. I don't quite understand. I feel like that's just a thing where you're not quite there yet. Firebase, Firebase field. Can you state what is Firebase? Trying to do a query here. Well, so languages that have type inferences, right? Type inferences is what's really cool. So if you have languages where you don't have to specify the types, the compiler figures it out. That can be nice. But writing out your types can really help you think through the process of how to do it. So for example, I think TypeScript actually, I think it's called duck typing. It says, well, if you don't specify a type, it's going to be in any type. So you can have dynamic types, but you can like narrow it down and in practice, I think it's great for prototyping, but in practice, I think it leads to code that's harder to manage and maintain. At least in my experience, that has been the issue. Document ID is not a function. All right, let's try. Can I just do document? Let's see, field path rather than making a function. Can't read property of undefined, so that didn't work. Let's keep trying here. Let's keep really. Let's see if anyone has version 9. That is a tree shakeable and results in smaller compiled. Doc get. I want my where. I think this question this person asked is just not the question I'm looking for. How to filter on document. Here we go. Here we go. Hopefully this is the same answer I had before. This is possible using field path. I don't know. Firebase.firestore.fieldpath. I don't know where that's coming from. Just a response to this other one here. I've never used grep-app. No, I haven't. Let's see, what is grep-app? So you can search. Ooh, this is interesting. You search for some code and it finds code that's similar. I'm really trying to. So I think one of the issues is I'm using since I'm doing this in vanilla JavaScript, I'm like having to import things in interesting ways. Inverse square root. So if I search for inverse square root, ooh, it live updates that way. That's cool. Here, let's try. Fascinating. This is cool. That's cool. Let's try field path dot field path dot document document ID. Yeah, that's really cool. I like this is cool. I'm gonna have to remember grep app. Not necessarily saying that the code is gonna be perfect anywhere, but it gives you an idea of what to look for. Field path dot document ID. Let's look at this. Where's field path coming from? Where do they end? Oh, this is Java. Can I filter by JavaScript? Ooh, look at that. So Firebase, Firestore, field path. Where's Firebase? Coming from Fire. This is really neat. App.firestore. Okay, so I have an app, so that might be what I want. I think I have an app. Let's try it. App.fire. Oh, and it might actually just be db. Here's app.firestore. Let's try that. Cannot read properties of undefined field path. I was close. Sometimes, you know, just looking for examples of like, well, how does this method work? How does this function work? This seems to be the correct answer of what I want. I can figure out where this is coming from. Import Firestore. Import field path. So, but it seems like in my version that the field path, field path in this documentation doesn't have, but it might be field path on something. So like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Can I do db, not field path? No. All right, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what document, this looks like exactly what I want to do. I just have to figure out what this is referring to, this chunk here. What is Firebase? What is Firestore? Well, essentially, what is Firebase? Where is this coming from? Is that this Firebase Firestore library? Get Firestore. I'm just curious. I just don't know. Get user data. Okay. Console.log app. Let's look inside this thing and find it interesting. What about inside of DB? Because that's the actual Firestore. Type is Firestore. Prototype. We have something. I'm feeling so close here. All of these have the same answer. Oh, and maybe this isn't like the JavaScript. First, I have a collection this. Looking for something along the lines of this. Don't you think it's possible to do document ID? Yes, but order the strings. So if you want a numeric query, The where clause. I'm just all right. So the where clause. Let's keep reading documentation. I try and find an example, and then you can't find one. It's like, okay, I gotta read the documentation. That's the best thing to do. Look at the where. Let's look at the where function. If it'll load. Oh, am I still going? There it goes. Where field path string or a field path. Create a field path from the provided field names. More than one field name is right. The path will point to a nested field. Okay, so can I make a field path with multiple names? Looks like I can. Oh. Should have gone here first, it looks like. Looks like I should do something like this. Where field path. So new field path UID. About that. Called with invalid. That's okay. I gotta. So I have to do a where. What's interesting is I have now multiple field paths. Where interest field path. Portion document must contain the specified field and value should be satisfied the relationship with field name. Created a field path with all of these. Although maybe, let's see, console const field paths equals new field path. Make sure this looks reasonable. Field path. Ensure if this field path is equal to the provided one. Create a field path from everyone. If more than one field, the path will point to a nested field in a. Oh, that's to nest down to it. Okay. That's not what I want. My query is not. That's not quite right. Query on document. Firestore query on document ID. Keeps coming back to this. Firebase.firestore. Am I in? Is this not? Yeah, this JavaScript. Wait, Firebase.firestore. I don't know what Firebase. Firestore.build. Really want to build this, but I don't know Firebase. So I liked this thing. Let's search for this. And I need to figure out what Firebase that is. Firebase. just available global somewhere. Have it here. From init and Firebase. Look at person. Where's Firebase going? Let's go look at init. What is Firebase? Import const Firebase export Firebase. Okay, equals config Firebase config. Let's go look at // config. There we go. Firebase config. Where is this Firebase config? Alright, so it's in Firebase. That's interesting that they did it that way. Come into config here. Hey. Hopping around the code a lot, a little bit hard to follow, probably. So here they have Firebase. Firebase has a export Firebase, and they're saying that Firebase config from config Firebase.firestore. All right, so we have. Is there something in here called Firestore? No. So we have back here import from config. That is config is coming from // config. So that's up a directory, and config.js, and Firebase config is coming from / Firebase config. Oh, and this is just the example. Okay. That doesn't contain Firestore in it. Let's look at this. Oops. Fire field path Firebase.field Firestore Firebase. Went from init. Import star as Firebase from Firebase. And that should struggling to figure out how to get this query. This is all I want. All I want is to be able to do this. And tell me that Firebase is not defined. Got a lot of tabs. Let's clear out some tabs. Really like this grep.app. Firebase for a minute. All right, let's try again. Export Firebase. But we're doing an import from Firebase like that. An NPM thing. Wonder if this thing is Firestore. Yeah, that has to be it. Oh, so Firestore. I think this is my. I think I'm just looking at an older. I have like 9.14. I think I have been looking at the right thing this whole time, and that the API must be different. Let's look at. Really an older. Yeah. I think that the API must have changed. All right, I'm gonna try. I think the API changed. Field path. Field path document ID Firestore 9.14. Me too. Field path is field path dot document ID on. Oof. Oh, is there a document? Okay. D. Oh. Field ID in UIDs. Non-empty array is required for in filters. Oh, okay. So, UID is empty, I'm assuming. Oh, it has one. Non-empty array required for filter. I have to turn it to a list. Set to list. JavaScript. JavaScript. set to list. Array dot from no. All right, let's try let s equals new set s dot add foo s dot to arrays dot from s. Array is not defined. Array dot from s. Okay. Array dot from UIDs. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's see. Whew. Query ref. So my question is this a ref or a snapshot? All right, that was painful. We got there. Vanilla JavaScript causing us a little trouble because it would be nice to just do like an import on that. All right, okay. Console, let's see, for let doc of qref console.log doc. Qref is not defined, not iterable. But after we do dot for each, qref dot for each dot format. Where's my dot curly brace, extra curly brace? There it is. Qref is not a fun. What the heck is qref? Console. All right. Query. Query. Where? Simple query. Okay, what do I do with Q now? Q equals get docs. Okay. So we build that up and then we say, I'll just do docs. Wait, get docs on this thing. That means this has to be async, which means we should await. And we'll do let users equal. This is gonna return something at the end. All right, docs. Missing or insufficient permissions. Ah, that makes sense. I haven't set permissions yet on my application. All right, so I'm gonna open up that new tab here. So you can, anyone can read the user information, but only, all right, so we got a match. In user data UID, anyone can read. You can only write if request.auth.uid is equal to, change that to user of to user ID. This, let's try again. There we go. There we go. Making progress on these. Whew. A little bit tricky to get there. All right. So now we're gonna build up. We're gonna have a thing here. We're gonna just build up a map. Const users is equal to a lookup here. We're gonna have a user ID. Display name. Now I'm again the doc. Okay, doc. I can get the path. Doc.ref.path, right? Nope. Ref path. That's good. There we go. You can't get it. So we will have the ID, and then we're gonna get, all right, so const UID is equal to dot or path dot ref dot path. Const UID is equal to path and path dot length -1. You gotta split it first. Split that, and then we're gonna add in users at UID dot display, or is equal to display name, and then doc dot data, I think, or is it doc dot data dot display. And again, we'll have to add in some checks here to make sure that that is the format that's in there. At the end of the day, we return users. All right, so once we've loaded those in, adding comments, we also got to take in the user data here. Data, or a comment, I guess we can add it to our comment. Get all the UIDs. This is getting out a little bit out of control. Pushing in the comments, but we want it to be also a user ID here. So this should be UID, comma, comments, like this. Parentheses here. This should actually just be doc data that comment. All right. That's not gonna work. Not gonna work. Each comment we want to add in there. All right, so const comments user comments equals doc dot data dot comments, and we gotta go through, and we gotta attach the UID to each one of these. Yeah, so for let comment of user comments dot UID is equal to ID, and then we'll add in user comments here. Still get them out. So now the comment that's getting passed to add comment has a UID with it, but we need the user information as well. So there's a couple things we can go through, and we can translate it before we hand it off, or yeah, let us do that, because the add comment, after we get all the user datas, then we're gonna loop through for let comment of comments. We have all of our comments. We're gonna loop through those. We'll do comment dot display name. It's equal to users of comment dot UID dot display name. Yeah, so we look up based off the UID, we translate that in there. Cannot read properties of display name. UID goes display name. Let's do here. Console.log comment.uid. Should on line 90 undefined. comments. All right, let's just log out. Console.log comment body timestamp. It's not. Comment dot. So now it'll attach it. Oof. I guess I could do a lambda for each there. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Again, we're building a prototype. All right, so now the username's attached. And now when we go to add comment, we can replace the long ago we made a comment display name. Here, the inner HTML becomes comment.display name. There we go. And do our display names now. All right, that's good stuff. When I add a comment, I'm gonna get an error. Get undefined. But if I refresh, it's happy to do it. And that's just because I need to make it so that way the user's display name, when we are successful here, this data needs to have the user's ID associated. And so data.display name is going to be equal to user data.display name, which isn't the correct display name. I haven't written the code to like associate that yet. When you log in, your display name is whatever your authenticating service is. So we'll have to fix that. Test something. Now it should be Joseph C. All right, made some progress. We're at the two and a half hours, so we went a little bit longer than I wanted to. I was planning on only work 2 hours. Took me a little while to get started, and then went off on some tangents there. But pretty happy. We can leave comments. The comments sort. They're based off the username. You can set a display name. And the display name is a reference to your user ID. So you can't sort of spoof that. Maybe. It doesn't matter since I'm letting you set it to whatever you want. Log out. And log back in. If I do a different, let's try it with a different. This is going to cause a problem because there isn't. This user is not in the database there. So, Nana Sam. So now it's going to show up there fine, but now it's going to crash saying, hey, the display name wasn't there. So I need to make it so that way when you log in, the user data gets set. But we're going to do that next time. Put a little note for myself on the to do. On auth, yeah. It set the display name to default display name here, and then we'll have a feature that lets them change the display name too. But it's gonna set in the database. It's gonna set whatever their display name is to whatever their authenticating services display name. That's where we're gonna pick up next time. Let's get this git add git status git commit. Work in progress. So we were, what did we do? add function for looking up users, user display names, comments. There we go. Push that up. In the little comments below, if you want to find that source code, feel free to do so. It's in the description. All right. Have a beautiful day, and you're welcome back anytime.